In the year 2050, the government mandated that every single human must have nanotechnology integrated into their bodies. Without it, you couldn't hold a job, buy groceries, or even fill up your car at the gas station. This groundbreaking technology was developed by Elon Snyder, a visionary known for his revolutionary contributions to science and technology. Initially, the nanotechnology brought incredible benefits to humanity. It enabled people in wheelchairs to walk, allowed the blind to see, and provided numerous health improvements that extended life expectancy and enhanced the quality of life. People were able to process information faster, store vast amounts of data in their brains, and communicate telepathically through the network of nanochips. The world became enthralled with the possibilities, and soon everyone wanted to become a cyberhuman. The integration of nanotechnology became a status symbol and a necessity for staying competitive in an increasingly technological society. However, what the public didn't know was that hidden within these beneficial features was a sinister backdoor, a control mechanism that could manipulate thoughts and actions. My name is Leon, and this is the story of how I, along with a group of rebels, fought against this insidious control. Elon Snyder was hailed as a hero when he introduced the nanotechnology that could cure diseases, repair injuries instantaneously, and enhance cognitive functions. The initial rollout targeted the healthcare sector, providing miraculous recoveries and improved physical abilities. Paralytics stood from their wheelchairs, the deaf heard their first sounds, and those with chronic illnesses found themselves free from pain. The technology soon expanded beyond healthcare. People began to see the advantages in everyday life: better memory, faster learning capabilities, and improved physical performance. Schools started to incorporate nanotech-enhanced curricula, and businesses demanded employees have the technology to keep up with rapid advancements. However, behind the scenes, the government and powerful corporations saw an opportunity. They embedded a control chip within the nanotechnology that allowed them to manipulate thoughts, behaviors, and even emotions. This hidden feature was known only to a select few, and it turned the marvel of nanotechnology into a tool of oppression. People began to change. They became more compliant, less rebellious, and increasingly uniform in their thoughts and actions. Those who questioned the system were quickly corrected through subtle manipulations. Society became eerily perfect, but it was a perfection built on the foundation of control and suppression of free will. I was one of the few who discovered the truth. My parents, both scientists, had been involved in the early development stages and uncovered the hidden control mechanisms. Before they could expose the truth, they were silenced. I found their research and vowed to continue their work. Together with a group of like-minded individuals, we formed a resistance. We called ourselves the Free Minds. Our mission was to hack the nanotechnology and free humanity from its invisible chains. We operated in secrecy, moving from place to place to avoid detection. Hacking the nanotechnology wasn't easy. The chips were designed to resist tampering, and any attempt to alter their programming triggered alarms that brought swift retribution. We had to be meticulous and innovative, often working in the dead of night in abandoned warehouses or hidden underground bunkers. One of our key members was Sarah, a former engineer who had worked on the nanotechnology project. She had inside knowledge of the system's architecture and was instrumental in developing a method to bypass the control mechanisms without triggering the alarms. "Leon, this is our best chance," Sarah said one night as we huddled over a makeshift lab. "If we can inject this code into the network, we can disable the control functions." I nodded, my heart pounding with both fear and hope. "Let's do it." We planned our infiltration meticulously. The main control center for the nanotechnology network was heavily guarded, both physically and digitally. We needed to breach its defenses without alerting the authorities.
Disguised as maintenance workers, we entered the facility. Every step was fraught with tension. We had to avoid surveillance cameras, bypass security checkpoints, and remain inconspicuous. "Keep an eye on the door,"
Sarah whispered as she connected her laptop to the server. "This will take a few minutes."
"It's done. The control mechanisms are disabled."
Disabling the control was just the beginning. We had to ensure that the public became aware of what had been done to them. We hacked into the media networks and broadcasted the truth, exposing the government's and corporations' manipulation. The reaction was explosive. People were outraged and mass protests erupted worldwide. The once complacent population awakened to the reality of their enslavement, demanding justice and the dismantling of the oppressive systems. As the government and corporations scrambled to contain the situation, the free minds continued to work behind the scenes, ensuring that the nanotechnology could no longer be used as a tool of control. Despite our victory, the path forward was not without challenges. The remnants of the old regime and its supporters still posed threats, attempting to regain control through covert means. The free minds remained vigilant, expanding our network to monitor and counteract these efforts. We also focused on healing the psychological wounds inflicted by years of manipulation. Counseling centers were established and support groups formed to help people regain their sense of identity and autonomy. It was a long and difficult process, but we were committed to seeing it through. In time, new leaders emerged. Leaders who valued transparency, ethics, and the well-being of all citizens. They worked alongside us to ensure that technology would never again be used as a weapon of control. Our story became part of the world's collective memory, a symbol of resistance and the power of unity. Monuments were erected in honor of those who had sacrificed their lives for freedom, and our message was immortalized in books, films, and songs. One day, as I walked through a bustling city filled with life and innovation, I met a young boy who recognized me from the stories his parents had told him. "Mr. Leon, is it true that you helped save the world?" he asked, his eyes wide with wonder. I smiled and knelt down to his level. "Yes, but I didn't do it alone. It was the courage and determination of many people that made it possible." The boy's face lit up with excitement. "I want to be a hero like you." I placed a hand on his shoulder. "You can be. Just remember, being a hero means standing up for what's right, helping others, and never giving up hope." As I stood up and continued my walk, I felt a profound sense of satisfaction. The world had changed, but the spirit of resistance and the quest for freedom remained alive. The legacy of the free minds would endure, inspiring future generations to build a world where technology and humanity coexisted in harmony, and where freedom was always cherished and protected. The fight against the control chips took a heavy toll on me personally. I lost my family to the government's brutal crackdowns. My wife Anna and our young daughter Clara were taken from me in a raid. Their loss left a void in my heart, but it also fueled my resolve to see this fight through to the end. Our rebellion faced numerous challenges. The government's forces were equipped with advanced technology, including cyber dogs and robotic soldiers programmed to hunt down and eliminate rebels. Each mission was fraught with danger, and we lost many brave souls along the way. One of the most harrowing battles we fought was at an old factory repurposed by the government as a control hub. Our intelligence indicated that this facility housed a significant portion of the network infrastructure controlling the nanotech chips. Taking it out would deal a massive blow to the government's capabilities. As we approached the factory under the cover of darkness, the air was thick with tension. Cyber dogs patrolled the perimeter, their glowing eyes scanning for any signs of intruders. We moved silently, using advanced cloaking devices to evade detection. "Remember, we stick to the plan," I whispered to my team. "We get in, plant the charges, and get out. No unnecessary risks." We infiltrated the factory, disabling security systems and neutralizing guards as we went. The deeper we got, the more intense the resistance. Cyber dogs lunged at us, their metal jaws snapping, but we fought them off with EMP grenades and tactical precision. Finally, we reached the central control room. Sarah and I worked quickly to plant the charges, knowing that every second counted. Just as we finished, an alarm blared, and robotic soldiers poured into the room. "Get out now!" I shouted, covering our retreat with suppressive fire. The factory exploded in a fiery blaze as we made our escape, the shockwave knocking us off our feet. We regrouped at our safe house, bruised and battered but victorious. "That was close," Sarah said, her voice shaking with adrenaline, "but we did it." We hit them where it hurts. Despite our success, the cost was high. Many of our comrades didn't make it out. Each loss weighed heavily on me, but their sacrifices were not in vain. We continued to dismantle the control infrastructure piece by piece, our numbers growing as more people joined our cause. As the tide began to turn in our favor, the government's desperation grew. They unleashed more aggressive measures, including drones that patrolled the skies, ready to strike at any sign of rebellion. We had to stay one step ahead, constantly adapting our tactics. In one particularly brutal confrontation, we faced a new type of enemy-enhanced human soldiers, cybernetically augmented to be faster and stronger than any normal human. They were relentless, and their attacks were devastating. We fought with everything we had, using guerrilla tactics to outmaneuver them. Our deep knowledge of the terrain gave us an edge, yet each battle cost us dearly in terms of lives and resources. One night, as we huddled in our makeshift base, I looked around at the weary faces of my comrades. The loss of so many friends and family members weighed heavily on all of us. "We can't keep fighting like this," said Marcus, one of our lead strategists. "We're losing too many people." "We need to find a way to disable their augmentations," Sarah suggested. "If we can neutralize their enhancements, we can level the playing field." Our resident tech genius, Jin, nodded in agreement. "I've been working on a device that can disrupt their cybernetic systems. It's risky, but it might just work." Jin's device was a portable EMP emitter designed to target the specific frequencies used by the cybernetic enhancements. It would temporarily disable the augmented soldiers, giving us a crucial window to strike. We planned our next mission with this new weapon. The target was a fortified base where the enhanced soldiers were stationed. The base was heavily guarded with layers of security designed to repel any assault. Under the cover of darkness, we approached the base. Using stealth tactics, we bypassed the outer defenses and positioned ourselves near the central command. Jin's EMP emitter was our key to success. "Ready?" I asked, gripping my weapon tightly. Jin activated the device, and a pulse of energy surged through the air. The enhanced soldiers, previously an unstoppable force, suddenly staggered, their movements sluggish and uncoordinated. We launched our attack, taking advantage of their momentary vulnerability. The battle was intense. Even without their enhancements, the soldiers fought fiercely, but we had the upper hand. One by one they fell, and we pushed deeper into the base. Our goal was the control center where we could disable their augmentation systems permanently. As we breached the control room, alarms blared, and we found ourselves face to face with the commander of the enhanced soldiers. He was a towering figure, his body heavily augmented with cybernetics. "You think you can stop us?" he snarled, his voice distorted by the machinery integrated into his body. "We're here to free humanity," I replied, raising my weapon. The fight was brutal. The commander's strength and speed were still formidable, but our teamwork and determination gave us the edge. Finally, with a coordinated effort, we brought him down. Sarah accessed the control terminal and initiated the shutdown sequence. The augmentation systems powered down, rendering the enhanced soldiers inert. The immediate threat was neutralized, but we knew our fight was far from over. In the following weeks, we continued to dismantle the government's control infrastructure. We liberated more bases and disrupted their operations. Our numbers swelled as more people joined the rebellion, inspired by our successes. Despite our progress, the government's grip remained strong. They deployed advanced surveillance systems and increased their efforts to quash the rebellion. Every step forward seemed to come with a new obstacle. During one mission, we discovered a secret research facility where the government was developing a new breed of nanotechnology designed to reassert control over the population. This facility was our next target. As we prepared for the assault, I couldn't help but think of Anna and Clara. Their memory fueled my determination to see this fight through to the end. We had come too far to turn back now. The assault on the research facility was one of our most dangerous missions yet. The facility was located deep underground, protected by layers of security and automated defenses. Cyber dogs patrolled the perimeter, and robotic sentries guarded every entrance. We moved with precision, disabling the outer defenses and infiltrating the facility. Inside, we encountered fierce resistance. The corridors echoed with the sounds of gunfire and explosions as we fought our way to the central lab. Jin and Sarah worked to breach the lab's security systems, while the rest of us held off the defenders. The air was thick with tension and the acrid smell of burning circuits. Every second counted. Finally, we breached the lab. Inside, we found rows of containment units housing the new nanotechnology. Sarah accessed the central terminal, her fingers flying over the keyboard. "We can't let this technology fall into the wrong hands," she said. "We need to destroy it." Jin set the charges and we prepared to make our escape. As we left the facility, a massive explosion rocked the ground, obliterating the research lab and the sinister technology it housed. Our victory was bittersweet. We had struck a significant blow, but the cost was high. We had lost more friends and the war was far from over. The government's resources were vast, and their determination to maintain control was unyielding. In the months that followed, we continued our fight. Each victory brought us closer to our goal, but each loss reminded us of the heavy price of freedom. We had to remain vigilant, adaptive, and united. One day, we received intelligence about a central command center where the government coordinated their efforts to control the population. This facility, known as the Citadel, was our final target. Bringing it down would cripple the government's ability to maintain their grip on humanity. The assault on the Citadel was our most ambitious mission. We gathered all our resources and allies, knowing this was our last chance to secure freedom. The Citadel was a fortress, heavily fortified with advanced defenses and guarded by the most elite forces. We approached the Citadel under the cover of night, using every tactic and piece of technology at our disposal. The initial breach was met with fierce resistance. Cyberdogs and robotic soldiers swarmed us, but we fought with relentless determination. As we pushed deeper into the Citadel, the fighting intensified. The corridors were a labyrinth of death traps and ambushes. Every inch gained was paid for in blood and sweat. Finally, we reached the central control room. The final battle was upon us. The room was a hive of activity, with government operatives coordinating their forces. The air was thick with tension. "We end this now," I said, my voice filled with resolve. We stormed the control room, engaging in a brutal firefight. The operatives fought fiercely, but we were driven by the memory of all we had lost. One by one they fell, and we secured the room. Sarah accessed the main terminal, initiating the shutdown sequence for the entire control network. The screens around us flickered and went dark as the system powered down. The government's grip on humanity was finally broken. As the dust settled, we stood in the control room, the weight of our victory sinking in. The fight was over, but the journey was just beginning. We had liberated humanity, but now we had to rebuild. In the following years, we worked tirelessly to create a new society, one built on the principles of freedom, transparency, and ethical use of technology. The memory of those who had sacrificed everything guided our efforts. Our story became a symbol of resilience and hope. Monuments were erected in honor of the fallen, and our message was immortalized in history. We ensured that the lessons of the past would never be forgotten. As I stood on a hill overlooking the new city, now vibrant with life and innovation, I felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The world had changed, but the spirit of resistance and the quest for freedom remained alive. The legacy of the free minds would endure, inspiring future generations to build a world where technology and humanity coexisted in harmony, and where freedom was always cherished and protected.